So today we're going to look at the layoffs at Activision Blizzard because recently they decided to cut about 8% of their workforce, which translates to about 1,900 employees. I actually just happened to find this roadmap right here after Seeds of Renewal 10.2.5 layoffs, right on time. This is the normal cycle, acquire and fire. And what typically happens is the acquisition becomes complete, leadership leaves the company to go spend time with their family, and a bunch of people get laid off. When you look at the email that Blizzard sent out to everyone, it's, again, just predictable. It's been a little over 3 months since everyone joined Microsoft. We're committed to aligning on a strategy and an execution plan with a sustainable cost structure. Okay, yeah. Together, we've set priorities. Who's together? It definitely wasn't the 1,900 people. We are grateful for all the creativity, passion, and dedication they've brought to our games and our players and our colleagues. I mean, that's fantastic because you get to keep everything. And they just have to go get a new job. And then right here, alongside the layoffs, Blizzard president Mike Ibarra has decided to leave the company. As many of you know, he spent more than 20 years at Microsoft. He's now seen the acquisition through as president and has decided to leave the company. If you're working at a company that's looking at being acquired and everyone is saying, don't worry, it's going to be okay, like specifically your executives and managers, I just wouldn't believe it. Now, if you're wondering who was fired in these layoffs, well, this is the part where it might be hard to have a little sympathy, so bear with me. WoW's lore team was hit hard by these layoffs. Apparently, they had employees called WoW historians that were responsible for making the lore and world building and all of that stuff. I imagine the executives and people at the top are thinking, we can just generate stories, lore, fiction with AI. We don't need writers anymore. Other than that, a majority of these layoffs were for an unnamed, scrapped survival game that Blizzard had been working on for 6 years and apparently had nothing to show for it. Now, just when you thought that was the end of it, there actually happened to be some new developments that came out yesterday. The first one I want to show you is this. The FTC isn't too happy with Microsoft's Activision Blizzard layoffs, and it's still looking to reverse the already completed deal. TLDR is after Microsoft announced the layoffs. An FTC lawyer said, hold on, wait a minute now. They actually filed a letter with the U.S. Court of Appeals. Microsoft represented to this court that the post-merger company will be structured and operated in a way that would readily enable Microsoft to divest any or all of the Activision businesses as robust market participants in the unlikely event that such a divestiture is ordered. I know, it's a whole lot of lawyer speak. It's almost like speaking a different language. Speaking of languages, today's sponsor is Babbel, one of the top language learning apps in the world. Really, I've actually been traveling around the southwest United States for the past year or so in my fifth wheel where I make all these videos in the middle of nowhere. Knowing Spanish has been such a fun and useful skill to have while doing this. HR lady and I really like to go to the small town museums, and sometimes things will be originally written in Spanish translated to English, but it's a really nice feeling to be able to read the original and understand what they meant. I just feel like it helps enrich the whole experience for me and helps me appreciate it that much more, you know? Okay, so why Babbel? Because they focus on useful, real-life stuff. It's not just memorization of stuff you needed for school to pass those tests. On top of that, Babbel manages to keep me engaged, which is hard to do. The lessons are designed by real language teachers, and Babbel is scientifically proven to help you start speaking a new language in 3 weeks. And there's a 20-day money-back guarantee. Aún no hablo español con fluidez, pero estoy aprendiendo. Anyways, if you're interested in learning another language, check out Babbel, and if you use my link in the description, you'll get up to 60% off. You want to take a look at this right here. The reported elimination of thousands of jobs undermines the FTC's ability to order effective relief should the pending administrative proceeding result in a determination that Microsoft's acquisition of Activision violated Section 7 of the Clayton Act. If you're wondering what Section 7 of the Clayton Act is, it's essentially an antitrust act prohibiting mergers, acquisitions, and certain joint ventures where the effect may be to substantially lessen competition. The lawyer also cited that Microsoft's intention to maintain the pre-merger status quo with its, quote, vertical acquisition of Activision specifically contrasted with a horizontal merger where companies often eliminate redundancies. Not only is there a problem with the layoffs in general, Phil Spencer said the layoffs reduced areas of overlap between the two companies, which is inconsistent with previous statements made in court. Well, the FTC actually filed an appeal for the decision to approve the merger. So getting a court to agree to undo such a large, complicated merger would be crazy, but the FTC's done it before. Microsoft was already considering the layoffs before the merger. Therefore, the recent announcement cannot be attributed fully to the merger. So that's their defense. And then it continues and says, while some overlap was identified and some jobs were eliminated, we just did that so that we can have money to divest in Activision Blizzard. See, it's okay. Now, we all know that Blizzard Activision is the example of what it means to treat your people right and care about them. Said no one ever. I'm joking. There's actually been another development with a former Blizzard employee whose NDA finally expired so they can talk about how they were treated and managed at Blizzard. And a mixed year with great teammates, but a management that mistreated, lied to me, gaslit me, and gave me a fake promotion, and HR that refused to help. Buckle up, friendo. Spent most of a year stressed out of my mind working 4 people's jobs at once and having management make promises they had no intention of fulfilling, and I ultimately felt like I had no choice but to leave for my own mental health. In July of 2023, I was invited to a meeting by art leadership and production to let me know why they were interested in promoting me to lead VFX artist of the cosmetics team. They talked to other people in the art department, and then everyone was happy, and he started the job immediately. This is that quiet promotion. You get a new title, which makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside, but they can't afford to give you that raise with the promotion yet because the budget's, you know. On my first week as lead, my manager tells me that we're gonna have to fire one of my new reports because he won't RTO. This is where it gets messed up. My employee is waiting for medical accommodation because he is a carer for his parents. He said the company laughed and said, yeah, we're not gonna do that for a junior. Another lead on the team offers to deliver the news because it was my first week. He's given until the end of the month to either relocate or leave, and we're all distraught. So I'm now doing my senior role, my lead role, and now all the work that this great VFX artist was doing. Then refused to hire an intern, another one of my reports who is incredibly talented and we all love. Add all that work to my plate. A month goes by, and I've now sent an email or Slack message every other day to find out what's happening with my pay increase and title change. I'm told I have to wait until August because that's when all the promotions happen. But don't worry, it's all happening. I then discover I'm learning less than 50% of every other lead VFX artist at Blizzard, so much so that as a lead, my salary is lower than every person I am managing. I ask HR if they think it's ethically okay to pay me less than 50% of every person for doing the same job. They tell me, why would we pay you more than we have to? That doesn't make any business sense. I'm not sure what he was expecting to hear. This is a clear example of how HR is there to protect the company, and not you. Bringing ethics to HR only matters to them if it helps the company. If you have problems with their ethics, well, it's not illegal, it's ethical, right? If companies could get you to come to work every day and not pay you, that's what they would do. Anyways, another month passes and I get to August and turns out, no, it's actually September now for some reason. We can't give you that raise. But don't worry, it's coming. It's definitely a promotion. There's definitely a pay raise. Getting to 3 months being a lead, so I send an email out to everyone, directors, VPers, HR leads, you name it, telling them that if there's no written information by September 1st, I will stop doing the role immediately. And suddenly people have something to say. And they say, what promotion? I have no idea what promotion you're talking about. So he sent HR all of the messages and emails to explain what promotion he was talking about, and HR responds back with, oh, you seem to be confused. There's no promotion. Leadership is a lateral move. It's just a change of responsibility. There's no pay increase. Don't worry, it looks good on your resume. It's just impossible to underestimate Blizzard. Every time you think you can, they go and do something else. Anyways, if you enjoyed today's video, do me a favor, click that like button and click that subscribe button if you'd like to see me call out more of this corporate nonsense. And if you have anything you'd like me to showcase on the channel, you can email me, Instagram, Discord, it's all down there. Oh, and thanks again to Babbel for sponsoring today's video. If you use my link in the description, you get up to 60% off your subscription. Having said all that, I hope everyone's doing well, and I'll see you in the next one.